Let me ask you something that no one ever dared to ask you in school. Why do you think it takes months to study what someone else can master in days? You've been told your whole life that studying is about discipline, long hours, consistency. But what if I told you that's a lie? What if I told you that your brain was never broken, just misused? Pause. Now imagine this. You have 4 months of syllabus and only 7 days left. Most students panic. They burn out, give up, or worse, accept failure. But he didn't. He rewired the way his brain processes, stores, and recalls information. And the result? He studied so fast in 7 days it felt illegal, like a cheat code no one else had access to. And I'm about to show you exactly how he did it, and how you can do it too. You see, most people study linearly, one chapter at a time, one topic at a time, hoping repetition will help them remember. But his brain was working vertically, stacking information, chunking concepts, compressing months of data into days, using psychological triggers. He used something I call the mental compression loop, a method where the brain isn't learning for exams, it's learning to survive. That activates what scientists call your brain's amygdala-driven focus response. It's what happens when your brain goes into survival mode. Like when you cram everything the night before an exam, but suddenly remember it all the next morning. He weaponized that state for 7 days straight. Here's how he did it. He created an environment so intense, so focused, and so locked in that distractions became painful. Scrolling felt like guilt, and wasting time felt like betrayal. He isolated his senses. He used psychological triggers like deadline anchoring, loss aversion, and dopamine hijacking. He hacked his sleep, timing, and even his self-talk to push his brain into what's called a neuropressure zone, a zone where your brain starts absorbing information as if it's life or death. This wasn't motivation. This was mental warfare. He didn't rely on willpower. He used a structured brain trap. First, break the syllabus into 4 zones: high weightage, moderate, low, and useless. Then, burn the useless. Delete it. Don't even look at it. Next, assign mental value to each part. The harder it is, the more urgent you treat it. Then, he used compressed looping, repeating the same core concept 3-4x in a single day across different formats: video, notes, audio, and writing. Lastly, he used one rule. If it doesn't enter my brain the first time, I'm the problem, not the topic. This made his brain desperate to understand. He made himself emotionally obsessed with learning. And that's how, in just 7 days, he crammed 4 months of content and retained it like it was tattooed in his mind. It felt illegal, because no one teaches you this way to study. This is just the beginning. If you're ready, I'll now walk you step by step through the exact system he followed. What he did on day 1, how his focus exploded by day 3, and how his memory locked in everything by day 7. Schools never taught you? Let's begin. Day 1, brain reformatting. The biggest mistake students make is starting with content. He didn't. He started with mental reprogramming. He knew the enemy wasn't the syllabus, it was his brain's current settings. Lazy, distracted, overwhelmed. So the first day was not about studying. It was about clearing mental clutter. He removed 90% of distractions. Apps, gone. Notifications, gone. Cluttered desk, cleaned. Toxic friends, silenced. Then he did one thing. Wrote down every single chapter, topic, and concept from the 4 months he needed to study. He printed the war map. He separated it into 3 categories: must know, 50%, should know, 30%, can skip, 20%. He wasn't going to waste time trying to learn everything. He was going to master what mattered most. The goal of day 1, make the brain fear the cost of failure.
Day 2, memory trap system.
Now he was ready to study, but not the usual way. He built a memory trap system based on 2 principles. 1, chunking. 2, compression. He broke complex topics into micro-topics, like tiny puzzle pieces. Then he relearned them in 3 loops. Loop 1, read and highlight. Loop 2, speak it aloud like he's teaching it. Loop 3, write 3 key points from memory. Each loop traps the info deeper into the brain's neural circuit. He repeated this for each core topic. No rereading, no wasting time, only attacking the brain from all sides. By the end of day 2, he had already locked in 15 to 20% of the entire 4-month syllabus.
Day 3, time distortion mode.
Day 3 is where everything started to feel unnatural. Time didn't feel real anymore. He used a study technique called the reverse timer lock. He would set 30 minutes, but only allow himself 25 to finish. That 5-minute gap pressured his brain into speed thinking. He combined this with active recall journaling. He would write down 5 questions after each topic and answer them blind from memory. By this point, the brain wasn't just learning, it was fighting to survive. His brain treated every topic like a threat that must be remembered. That night, he listened to recordings of his notes while falling asleep. Subconscious reinforcement. Day 4, deep integration mode. This was the most intense day. He did what most students never do. He stopped consuming and started creating. For every topic, he created flash summaries, 3 bullet points, 1 diagram, 1 question he'd likely be asked. He wasn't just learning, he was embedding. Then, he simulated the exam, sat down, set timer, solved mock questions with no help. When he forgot something, he didn't panic. He rewrote the question in his brain errors notebook. By the end of the day, he knew more about his weaknesses than his syllabus. Knowing what I don't know gives me control. That was his mindset. Day 5, brutal recall day. Now it was war. He turned off all notes, all books. He started the day with nothing but a pen, paper, and 50 questions he had made over the week. He tried to answer them all from memory. The rule was simple. If you forget it, punish yourself with a full 5-minute revision of that topic. If you remember it correctly, reward with a 1-minute break. By building this reward-punishment cycle, his brain prioritized retention. He turned studying into a game of survival. Fun was gone. Obsession had taken over. Day 6, rapid-fire mastery. Now he had only 48 hours left. But instead of panicking, he slowed down. Yes, he studied slower. He focused on only the most important 30% of topics that were most likely to be asked. He did past paper analysis, high weightage question practice, 80-20 topic breakdown, and then he taught every topic aloud, as if teaching someone else. Teaching is the brain's highest form of mastery. That night, he revised everything in fast forward, using mind maps he built over the week. Day 7, simulation plus lockdown. Final day, no new topics, only revision and mental lockdown. He simulated the exact exam conditions twice. Then he entered monk mode. No phone, no distractions, just pure silence and review. He walked, visualized answers in his head, spoke keywords aloud, wrote summaries blind. He wasn't learning anymore, he was locking in everything. By the time he reached the end of day 7, it didn't feel like a study session. It felt like he had downloaded the syllabus into his brain, from 0 to full syllabus retention in 7 days. He didn't just study, he manipulated his brain to absorb knowledge like a machine. So now you know, he didn't have magic, he didn't have more hours in a day. He had urgency, obsession, and a brain that was done with excuses. He turned panic into power. He didn't study harder, he studied differently. And that's the difference between average and unstoppable. The truth is, you don't need 4 months. You need 4 seconds of clarity, the moment you decide to stop waiting and start attacking. Now here's my question to you. If you had just 7 days left and 4 months of syllabus to cover, would you panic, procrastinate, or reprogram your brain like he did? Drop your honest answer in the comments. I'm reading every single one, And if you've ever pulled off a crazy last-minute study win, tell your story. Let's see who the real masterminds are. Don't forget to share this with that one friend who's always panicking before exams, because they need to see this. Subscribe if you're done studying like a normal human, because what's coming next is going to feel even more illegal.